All right, today our conversation starts with women and the equity and equality debate. Then we move on to your mental health and the economy, the chicken and the egg analogy, and wrap it up with navigating turbulent times, the power of focus.
Of course, we expect practical solutions from the very best minds. Our guests today are Jane Beria, Tolushe Francis, and Mr. Motivator himself, Ubong Essen. We certainly will be raising the bar today, trust me. Please make sure you don't miss any part of the conversation. It's going to be a snappy digression now into happenings of the week.
Yes.
Helen?
Yes, happenings of the week.
Happenings of the week. I spent hours on the road was it Wednesday or Thursday?
No, but you were warned now that Mr. President was coming to Lagos and plenty preparations.
Oh my God, does this have to happen?
For him to come and commission.
I spent hours on the road, and guess what? My car chose that day
to pack up.
Not to pack up, the AC. The AC refused to work. Oh my God.
You're talking AC. How many people, ride cars with AC? Please go and sit down there with your bourgeois jeans.
Helen, no.
All right, but you see, at the end of it all, it's mass transit. The reason for the president's visit to commission the mass transit.
So my question,
a lot of people are going to benefit from it.
Yeah, John. So my question is this. The president is coming to Lagos. Yes. So Lagos has to suffer?
Okay. Like always, that's a conversation for another day.
We have presidents all over the world, and I'm not sure this happens.
Yeah,
they have to work out something.
I have no idea what's happening. Lagos is so overpopulated, I guess.
It doesn't matter.
On this road,
it doesn't matter. Crazy. President coming to do his work shouldn't stop me from doing my work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And cherry news from Abia State. 247, I hear. It's 24 hours power supply.
Power supply, yeah.
While we're talking about, the breaking down of the national grid here and there.
Yeah, let's congratulate them and let's hope they sustain it too. Yeah,
that's all right. That's it. So much is happening. I guess we're making some progress, John.
Yes,
we are. Yeah. That nationally there's a lot of hardship here.
If you say that.
So the various state governors are beginning to come up with, palliatives and strategies to make life better for their citizens. So I think it's something
if we keep saying that to ourselves, we'll believe it someday. So the female gender. The female gender, they've had it all going for them every year. Early enough, their issues begin to trend right into the year. In spite of this, there is the continuous debate on equality and equity. Our first guest, Jane Beria, joins the conversation to make us see the reasons for all the agitation. Jane is currently Group Chief Financial Officer at the multinational Continental Reinsurance PLC here in Lagos. With a master's degree in business administration, Jane has found the need to bridge the gap in conversations concerning the female gender. Hello, Jane.
Hello, good morning.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Yes. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Really
the
appreciate
African in you, shouts loud from the top of your head to the sole of your feet.
Yes.
If I could use that word. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And guess what?
Okay.
She's a Rotarian.
I knew.
Yes.
I knew. 90% of the guests God brings on this show.
Yes.
Don't worry, we're going to give you a
That's my family.
It's family. Yes. Thank you.
Have you. So we're looking at equity and equality debates. Kindly bring us to speed on this subject.
Thank you. Let's first understand what's the difference between equity and equality. And what I must start saying that equity actually brings equality. And equity really is about bringing everybody at a fair playing ground, whether it is woman or man. So it's about giving the opportunities to everybody. And once you give those opportunities, so this is a classic example where if you have a shorter person, you give them a taller stool. If there's a tall person, you give them a shorter stool, and they are all at the same level. So you're bringing a fair playground for everybody. And once you bring equity, automatically equality follows. And what are we talking about equity? We're talking about access to empowerment. How do we empower our population? You're talking about education. You're talking about same chances for a girl in a town setup, a girl in a village setup, and sex should never be an issue. It could be a man, it could be anyone. Sex should never be a reason for expectation of a favor or anything. That should not be at your mind all the time. It's about taking advantage, access to those opportunities, the rights. So governments should make sure everybody has equal rights to accessing those opportunities, to access education, to access, starting from the family setup, going to the communities, going to our workplaces, and all the way up to the government level. So you are seeing this right from bottom all the way to the top, and everybody has the same chances, following which you can make an informed decision of what you want to do.
And that's the whole essence of it. And I like the way you've put it. Simply, that providing a level playing field, for everyone. Okay, so now tell me, what are some of the key challenges that women still face in achieving this equity and equality in today's society?
Okay, well, we may talk about a significant improvement, we come from the African society. Let's speak around the African society. And what I still see today is underrepresentation. You see in many places, whether you're talking about community meetings, whether you're talking about church meetings, whether you're talking about some organizations, at government level, you will still see a bit of underrepresentation. There are more men.
Is this deliberate?
If you look at, there are various factors that influence that. We still see a bit of gender-based violence going till to date. We still see sexual harassment, especially in office spaces. It's happening. And I think organizations are bringing in a lot of strict policies on sexual harassment. We still see a lot of stereotyping. The woman's role. What are you supposed to be doing as a woman? Are we different from men? Those challenges are still there. I'll give you an example. Growing up, while I was at the primary level education, for you to make it to the university, the grade for the girl child was lower than the boy. You needed a C+ to make it to the university, while a boy needed a B+. But that all changed now. And guess what? I think these days even more girls in university than even boys. So those are the challenges. And the biggest for me challenge I say is this multitasking. We have multiple responsibilities at the home front, at the workplace. You balancing it is not easy. It's a big challenge. We only have 24 hours in a day, and a woman naturally has to do more. You have to look after the kids in the house. You're doing the cooking, but that is slowly changing. Men are also beginning to embrace that we're in this together. We know we need to share responsibilities. So other challenges women face, for me, I'll mention about, it's physiological and, physical. It's how we are created. Issues like girl child not attending school because of the monthly menstruation cycles, While it needs attention, we don't pay much attention to that. That sometimes is a challenge, especially to the girl child. So these are some of the challenges we address. Underrepresentation, especially in some fields like STEM, in politics. You still don't get to see too many, women. But that is still changing, but we are not where we want to be. So you remember we are talking about equity, which will bring equality. We want to see a fair representation of all genders.
Great.
Okay, I'm female, and I'm looking at it like, not making any excuses for what has happened. I'm looking at it like, maybe the world realized the special place that the woman occupies, coupled with so many responsibilities. Home front, culture, and all of this. And that man is freer to just soar, to fly, to achieve, to just go. Without any inhibition. So I'm thinking, I may be wrong, like
that's
John
a woman's perspective.
Maybe the world realizes that. And it's like, okay, let the women take it easy. Now we're saying no. we are able to march forward.
Yes.
Don't give us any preferences.
No.
Just give us a level playing
No
ground.
favors.
Yes, and we will excel.
Yes.
Okay, good. So how can the media, here we are this morning, contribute? How can the media contribute to raising awareness about gender equality and equity issues? And how far? How much have we done?
Yeah, media is trying, still has a long way to go, but especially in these days of, social media, everybody has access to information. I think media now, in terms of awareness, this is the time, it's now where we need to have a lot of discussions, especially around stereotypes, about I'm a woman, he's a man. We need to change that analogy. We need to look at each other, you're human, I'm human, at that level. The media needs to support a lot of these discussions, especially around, women empowerment and share success stories, There are so many successful women out there. Every day, we're looking at now women having a lot of breakthroughs in politics. We are seeing presidents, we are seeing governors, we are seeing CEOs, MDs. These days, there are so many. They are becoming leaders all over. And we need to showcase more of that so that the girl or the boy down there at the village realizes, wait a minute, I know this person. The more diverse discussions we have and the more we bring it home and everybody can relate to that, then you realize nothing is impossible. I too can do this. So the perceptions are going to change. The more media comes to the forefront, we are going to change the perceptions across. Yes.
And I'm here staring at Jane herself because she's a powerful lady. And we should celebrate people like Jane because she's female and she's broken through, a lot of those things. Now let's go back to stereotypes. Stereotypes, I believe, a lot of it comes from background, culture, and all of that. So what role do family dynamics play in maybe shaping the perceptions of gender roles and expectations? The family front.
Yes.
What role?
Family is the beginning. It's the smallest unit of our society.
Yes.
So whatever we teach at that point in time, when we bring the children to this world, we normally say they come on a clean book.
Yes.
So the rest are just environment shaping perceptions. So it starts from the family. What are your parents telling you? How are the chores divided at home?
Yeah.
Are the boys given the responsibility to just study? Like my time, it used to happen.
Yeah.
We are doing the house chores. You are cleaning, you're washing, you're cooking. What is the boy doing? Studying or playing?
No, actually processing.
Processing.
Processing the important things.
Exactly. Yes, so it starts from there. So at the family front, I think we need to be very intentional on how we bring up our children.
That's right.
Let them see each other. My sister, my brother, we are the same.
Yeah.
We have the same opportunities. We go to the same school. We have the same timetable. If we are sharing the chores at home, it's an equal share. There's no favorism or no let him sit aside. If it's a situation where in the family there's no school fees, we do see in some occasions boy is taking the preference while the girl stays back. We need to change those perceptions. We need to change perceptions in some communities. Early marriages. We need to change the perceptions. Things like investments. There is a joke that used to be told, when you have girls, it's investment because the dowry will come home. That is now changing. And that starts at the family level. That's the smallest unit. So what are the parents showing? Demonstrating to their children and the community. So then goes to the community. It is from there the children's perceptions will begin. So as they extend outward, then they're already shaped and their perceptions now, even though I'm a girl, I can do the science equally as my brother. It's, you're sharing, I'm teaching him homework or looking at the diversity. We all can't be the same. I'm good in this, he's good in this. That coming together changes the perceptions altogether. Yes.
And I wonder why women being looked at previously as an investment, will downplay the role and the importance of that girl child. Because if she's an investment, then it means that you must invest in her, so she can bring the deliverables eventually.
Higher returns.
But now the girl child has proven to even be the ones who are more. Do I use the word responsible? Excuse me, and I apologize.
No, if you remove more, if you remove the word more, it will be acceptable.
But a lot of women now are the ones that the family is having to fall back on, to salvage situations.
Yes.
Most of the guys are, God forgive me, so I can use that word, a bit selfish, a bit into themselves. In old age, really, there's a girl child that is really taking care of the father and the mother and even the younger children. Excuse me, John. These are some.
No, it's really not a John thing, and again, it's
a fact, right?
I avoid generalizing.
Okay.
I avoid generalizing.
Okay.
So,
but there are experiences we have seen. We have seen that the female gender, at the end of the day, is the one who most of the family members have to rely on. That's my opinion. Okay, let me just use that word. That's my opinion. So let's move on. How can we encourage more representation of women in leadership positions right now across various industries? Because I guess this is where what this matter is all about.
Yes.
Getting women to be the best that they can be.
Speaking about that, I think a lot is changing now, and we talked earlier about the family unit and how a family with girls and boys, how they grew up, and that's why you saw it happening all through, because women were tasked to certain chores and all that. So those perceptions go all the way into your adulthood. That is changing now. And I look at education as an equalizer for starters. First of all, let's take all the children to school. Let them give, I think all children in most nations, we have the rights. They are equal rights. And education is the first step to equalizing. So you find that once a society is empowered, and when I speak about leadership, I want to talk about both girl and boy. Right? So that you empower both of them, so they appreciate the diversity. And what we must emphasize these days is diversity, equity, and inclusion, to make sure we have a balance of both genders. So once we do that, you're going to see more women in leadership. Whether it's organizations, there should be very clear policies that give equal opportunities to both men and women. Make sure you have that balance. In government, I'm seeing governments, like some of them actually have it in the constitution, that you need a certain minimum of, say, women represented in those leadership opportunities. And then the more we bring these discussions, the more we do mentorship, especially women who have made it. I do that all the time. You need to go and empower both. I empower both girls and the boys, because they need each other. You need to support each other. The men need support from the woman, and the woman needs support from the men. So we do a lot of mentorship and education and sensitization and kill these stereotypes. We are going to see more women going into leadership. We are going to see more women engaged. Sharing of responsibilities, even at the home front, is going to allow women more time to even further pursue their academics. And I think when both parties are empowered, then you're in a better placed position to promote each other. So even in addition to the policies, job opportunities that are all coming up, the laws of a country, then we'll see more growth of women in leadership. And then to tell the women, don't stay behind. Respectfully, don't bulldoze. Don't bulldoze. Just earn it. You earn it, and you get there. That's equity that we are talking about. You earn it.
Okay.
If it's about pay, it should be equal work, equal pay. You earn it, and respectfully it will come.
All right. So we don't want to make this a men against women thing. If we're talking about equity, then it has to be equity for all.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So it's not whether women are more this or men are more that, right?
It's not a fight.
It's not a fight.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's focus on the men a bit. How can the men now, become allies in the fight for gender equity and equality? Because the women are fighting for it. How can the men also help the women, to equity and equality?
Very powerful statement. You see, the men, especially in our society that is patriarchal, men are very powerful. Their voice is heard. So the men actually are the ones who need to bring out, we need to start sensitizing. They need to come out and sensitize and change the analogy and say, this is my wife, this is my daughter, this is my mother. I respect her for A, B, C, and D. Once the men start having that, support women voices and, and showing that unity. So no one is forcing anything. Remember we said it's not a fight.
It's not a fight.
No one is forcing anything. Just that appreciation that I'm supporting the woman voice. Whether it is my mother, my sister, my daughter, that is where it starts. And the men, I said they are so powerful because a lot of stereotyping also, you see it comes mainly from the from the men, and the women take the back seat. A lot of men who are successful actually do say their women are very strong. They have supported them. Sharing ideas. Support does not mean cooking for them. It's sharing ideas at the brain capacity level. And they will listen to you. And you listen. Most successful men will come and say, my wife actually gave me this idea. We did it together. Yes. Once we change that perception, you just say, the train will not stop.
Thank you.
The speed will just increase.
Thank you. We're running out of time. I guess that would be your final word, or if it's not, if someone just joined this show like 5 minutes ago, what would be the key takeaways for you on this subject?
Okay. My key takeaway is that we are all equal, and equality also comes from the angle of respect. It's about everybody having access to opportunities, equal opportunities, empowerment, and making informed choices. That is very critical, informed choices. And we're talking about both. We're not, at this point in time, if we want success, we're not saying this is about women and we are eliminating the men. No, it's about bringing a fair playground. And this comes a lot with access to opportunities, empowerment to both. And you see together how, we should celebrate our diversity. It's supposed to strengthen us as opposed to dividing us. So always, encourage diversity, equity, and inclusion. And you'll see how powerful that can give, the powerful result that can produce for you. Awesome. If you're an organization, if it's government, you see the policies that come out and the results you can see for yourself. Yeah.
Wow, it couldn't have been better put.
Yes.
Okay, so what else can we say? Well done.
Thank you.
Jean,
thank you.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I would have asked you a few questions about Kenya and equality, and but we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on this very delicate subject.
Thank you so much, Jane. With all that you've said, until the world, and most especially Africa, realizes the huge potential that the women inclusion, will bring to the table, we will continue to scream from the mountaintop that we need this level play field. And after all, it's a world for all of us. So the results, like you said, everybody will take away or benefit from it. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, so moving on, let's focus on our mental health in an economy such as ours. Does the chicken and the egg analogy help in any way? If you do not change the channel, we shall tell you all about that when we return with Tolushe Francis, our next guest.